Santa's dead and all your hopes and dreams are gone. That's kind of how it felt like to me. I just wanted to let that simmer for a bit.
Dude, I
don't know how to move on.
yeah.
Good evening, degenerates, and welcome back to another episode of Degen Hours. It is Wednesday, which means it's the Wednesday roundup. Yep. We have
hat on, hat off, Wednesday. Bang.
All right. That's early. It's early.
Hump day.
Normally you get at least like a couple
He
minutes
does
out.
this every episode.
That's not true.
Every
No,
single
every
episode.
We need a recap at the end of the year.
Let's recap.
You never cut him off, though.
We need some compilation at
You
the
don't
end.
want to cut Mike off.
At the end of the day.
Time out.
There we go.
We need to put together all the clips of Mike just interrupting every intro.
No, we won't.
Every
Yeah.
intro ever, a compilation of just everything, top to bottom, start to finish, of Mike just
It'd be
jumping
like,
in.
Yeah.
And then the one time someone interrupts him. And then
Doesn't let him get a word
I'm done. I'm done. All the cameras off.
it's done. We're not
It's
filming
done.
anymore.
Yeah.
This is so.
I give everyone their time.
As you can see, we're an extremely functional group. It is Wednesday, which means it's the Wednesday roundup.
I function.
We had a full
It's called
weekend
your
of NFL playoff wildcard football, super wildcard weekend.
yeah.
It
Super.
was electric. 2 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday, 2 games on Monday. We're going to talk about all of them, and we're going to tell you how our picks went.
They went great.
Sneak peek, they weren't great for us.
No, they were
Lots of
great.
red for
No, they were
A lot
great.
to talk about. Without further ado, let's get into the roundup.
Bang.
Last week, we gave you picks on every single game.
We probably shouldn't have.
Totals, a whole mix of them.
It's a pick show.
Yeah, overall,
It's a big show.
it did not go swimmingly.
There's a lot of red on our sheet.
We're just going to go around. We'll start with Mario.
It wasn't the worst.
So it wasn't
No,
great.
If it was spreads,
You
you're
were
dead.
you were 4 and 5,
Okay.
but when you're talking sides of the game, spreads, you only got 1 of the 6 right.
Yeah.
All your losses
No, it's
were
good.
on the spreads, and then you gave out 3 over-unders. You hit all of those.
Yeah.
The only one you could see was the Bucks. I mean, what happened last week?
No, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it was a tough week.
It's a tough week.
Honestly, though, I was like, every team I wanted to win won. So it wasn't really a bad week
You gotta stop fading
For,
yourself, bro.
for just watching.
You were also 3-0 on totals. So maybe give out more totals.
Well, yeah.
Thanks for bringing that up. I forgot to mention that
Stat of the
1
day.
second ago.
Yeah.
No, but
Yeah, thanks
It was Mike's
you
stat of
said
the day.
sides and spreads.
Mike's
You
stat
said-
of the day.
You said 1 of the 6.
It's Mario's time.
My hands were tied with a lot of picks. Like, I can't bet against the Steelers. You know what I mean? So
I mean,
it's like, chalk
maybe
that
We're
up.
sure.
going to talk about
Maybe
what
sure.
happened
We
in
have a lot
each
of
game.
time.
We
You know
got a
what
lot
I
to talk
mean?
about there. But yeah, 4 and 5 last week.
Yeah.
So, I mean, floating around that 50%, a little below.
Yeah.
Mike, you had a big week. 7 and 4.
Right when
Bang!
we're
I
done
lead
with
the
the
pack.
You do
I'm
lead-
the alpha,
As soon as
baby.
we're done with the
I'm the
standing, this
alpha.
Mike goes crazy.
Yeah,
No,
as soon
I'm
as
the alpha.
as soon as
Hotter than fish grease.
I mean, the fact that 7 and 4 is the best that we did was just
Oh, yeah, it's terrible.
That's really bad. I mean, Mike, you were
I'll go
3
7-0 this week.
you were 3 and 3 on the sides, and then you were 4 and 1 on the totals. So
Big
that's
totals.
That's pretty
Guys,
good.
Big totals group.
You saw
we're
the
7 and 1 on
totals.
totals.
You saw
Yeah,
the board.
that's pretty sharp. I was just abysmal. I was
There's
the
no
worst,
way around
worst
it.
of the worst. 2 and 5 on the week. I gave out 1 total, and it was with the Dolphins, and I lost both the side and the total. The only picks I hit were the Packers and the Bucks. It's just gross. I
least
mean,
they're
we're
plus
gonna
money.
talk about the games. I still think I should have covered in the Lions game and the Steelers game. But we're gonna talk about. We'll talk about what happened in those games.
Yeah.
Ryan 4 and 4 on the week.
Yeah, it wasn't the worst.
Okay.
I kind of
it's
did your
okay.
thing where I bet more than I said on the games I liked.
Yeah.
So it worked out well, or like my total picks, I just got to give out more picks. There's got to be more picks. It's unlike me to not give
24
out more
pick
picks.
card.
It's unlike me to not have more picks.
Yeah, you only had 8 picks on 6 games.
that's
You should have
ridiculous.
at least like
24.
19.
Yeah, okay. My fault.
We have 4 games this week. We're giving out picks on Friday. I'm expecting
You'll have at least 12.
Be better.
big numbers.
Yeah,
I'm
big
expecting big numbers.
Big
And
numbers.
last Tate, I mean, another bad week. 3 and 5. 3 and 5.
Yeah, it was not good.
Not good at all.
No.
Wasn't great.
I mean,
good, but wasn't
the only person above 50% was Michael.
Yeah, that's just.
When that's the case, I mean,
Bang.
we have to look at the
we're so bad.
That must have
no.
mean 3 rookie quarterbacks won this week.
No, see, well, you know,
It's almost like I
we're gonna
predicted
talk
one
about
of
it,
them.
and I mean, we're already edging on talking about the game. So without further ado, that's the recap. We were trash. Let's talk about what happened. The first game last week started with an absolute bang.
Yeah.
I mean, the early game was the Texans-Browns.
Beautiful.
I was all over the Browns. I thought they were going to handle business.
Me
but
too.
I didn't account for one thing. CJ Stroud being the best quarterback of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, he literally
I love hearing that.
dominated that
so
game.
good.
The final of that game,
46.
45 to 14. I thought it was 44. 45-14.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
Absolute murder. I mean,
Blew him out of the
you're the CJ Stroud guy.
It was beautiful.
What'd you see?
Unfortunately, nothing I didn't expect. If you listened last week, I said outside the first quarter, Texans were going to kill him. Never was going to be close.
No,
Yep.
that's pretty
I
much
mean,
what
it was
happened.
exactly what happened. Texans complete control of the game.
Ran the ball, threw the ball.
Everything they
anything
wanted, they got.
Yeah.
If that game was close, Stroud could have had probably like 9 TDs and 600 yards.
Yeah.
But like it was like, oh, we just got 2 pick sixes. We don't really need to play.
Yeah.
He literally didn't play. He had 300 yards, 3 touchdowns the first half. Didn't play.
Yeah, he was 16 of 21, 274, 3 touchdowns, 0 picks, perfect passer rate.
No, he didn't. It's perfect. I mean, he's him. It's gonna be tough sledding ahead, but like doing it against this Browns team, which I mean has been a little shaky, and it's like
Good
I knew the
defense,
story.
They go up and down.
Yeah, but on the road, their
On the
defense
road,
was
they're-
shaky,
yeah.
and lately it's been shaky. I don't know. It was just perfect storm. It was Texans at home. Stroud's him. I think that team, if he plays well, it's just hard to beat him, regardless of how good you are, how good your defense is. Some quarterbacks just will beat you no matter how good you are.
Yeah.
That's how,
I
think
mean,
he's one of
if
them.
you think about the quarterbacks left in the AFC, Stroud included, I mean, you have Lamar Jackson, who's MVP, Patrick Mahomes, unanimous best quarterback in the NFL. Josh Allen, say what you want, he played really well last week, and CJ Stroud. I mean, that might
Where it
be,
should be. I like it. I love this. The best quarterbacks. in
those
the
might
division.
be the 4 best quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah.
No, literally.
At least
regardless.
right now. At least right now.
Very.
For sure.
Very
I mean,
easily.
If Jordan Love keeps playing the way he's playing.
well, we're going to talk about Jordan Love in a
we'll get
second.
there.
All season, Stroud did it all season. Jordan
Yeah.
Love did it in the last like 8 games, and we'll
I
see.
mean, yeah, Jordan Love's stats this year are crazy, but we're gonna talk.
Yeah,
we're gonna
yeah,
talk
we'll get
Packers
there,
in a
yeah,
second.
Dude, I thought the Texans defense, really quick, I thought
Yeah.
the Texans
Go ahead.
defense was like, they showed up pretty
They really
big.
did.
Oh my
And
gosh,
I think
so good.
Surprising.
I was-
D'Amico Ryans. I mean, he was the quarterback, or he was on the San Francisco 49ers year before.
Yeah.
Had that defense firing.
Oh, yeah.
I
No,
mean,
it's
and
crazy.
you can see it like a lot of young guys on this defense, but I mean, they're coached well. I
mean-
mean, they're
Go ahead.
Is there a better team at drafting than the Houston Texans?
Oh,
No,
not a
no.
chance.
Well, I mean, at least after last year, I
Or
mean,
do you know how
they,
many wins they had last year?
they
I didn't know this until
destroyed the
until
draft.
One, right?
3.
yeah.
They had
Who
3
had one
wins.
last year?
No, I forgot.
Who had one? Who was the first pick? Oh,
Cardinals.
No, Panthers.
No, the Panthers traded for it. So whatever. Yeah,
Whatever
they
it
were
was,
second
they had
place, yeah.
3 wins last year, and they
The
now
worst-
won the division and just won a playoff game.
They also had beginning of the season the worst odds to make the Super Bowl at plus 20,000.
I should have.
Didn't you
Oh.
bet them to make the Super Bowl or win?
Oh
the Super
yeah,
Bowl?
well not now.
In Vegas?
Yeah, like this was 2 weeks ago. It was plus 15,000.
That's not bad.
No, it's just a
Not
little
bad.
shot. It's my boy CJ. I had to
Not
throw a little
bad.
dog on him.
I
But
mean,
yeah.
you're
That's
3 games
insane.
away.
No,
you
I'm
win
not-
3 football games, you win $15,000.
I mean, I'm
That's-
excited.
I'm
That's
excited.
crazy.
That'd be a good ticket. That'd be a
That's
good ticket
crazy.
to have.
No, I
That
mean,
is-
I would be going crazy.
But yeah, I don't know. This Texans team scoring 45 on the Browns just kind of like, yeah, I didn't expect it.
Yeah.
No,
I
don't
didn't
think
expect
anyone
it. And when I saw it, I was like, hey, you know,
I was not mad. I was
Give him
not
his
mad.
flowers.
I was so happy.
we'll see what
Yeah.
happens. I remember you said, I think it was you, Mario, that the winner of this game is the team you're rooting for going forward, right?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I'm just a fan of football, so it's like if Mahomes is in the Super Bowl, like obviously, I mean, probably root for him.
Gross.
I know, you're not a big fan. Also, one of my grandpas is from Wisconsin, so he's a lifelong Packers fan. So I never root for the Packers, but like,
I didn't know you had that Packers blood in you.
eh,
You're
yeah.
a real natural cheesehead.
Yeah, I know. A little bit. There's a way to every team.
Yeah, I know.
But
definitely
no,
a
I'm
way.
not like.
That's like Michael explaining why he's a Longhorns fan.
Hold
Yeah,
on now.
yeah, I
Hold
know.
on. Don't
We don't have to get
disrespect.
into
Don't
this-
talk about Michael
I don't
Texas.
want to get like
Last time it
my
didn't go
blood
so well,
boiled.
yeah.
again.
No, just
But
hold
yeah, I mean, probably.
Man.
I like the story of CJ probably the most.
Yeah.
Because Mahomes, obviously, if he goes back to back, then it's like
With nobody.
with
That'd be
nobody.
absolutely absurd.
No, it'd be absurd. But like obviously,
They're
he's
underdogs this week.
already won 2. So and I don't want Josh Allen to win. The only other team that like maybe I could root for is like a little bit. It's maybe the Ravens because I like Lamar's story. But
No,
I mean, I know you guys are Steelers fans.
Well, I'm never going to root for the
I
Ravens
hate
to win,
the
but I
Ravens so
understand
much.
you're like,
But no, I got
Lamar,
you, but-
MVP, cool.
You're rolling with CJ Stroud. You're happy with how it shook out.
I am happy. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, the next game after the Texans blowout, Packers 40. Sorry,
Packers, Cowboys, Jesus.
not even that.
It was the
Chiefs.
Oh, it was the
Dolphins.
Chiefs,
Yeah.
I got ahead of myself. I was gonna say Packers.
Oh, you're getting excited
yeah.
for this week? Yeah.
I was a little excited. Chiefs Dolphins.
Another beautiful.
So
game.
They
Saturday
poached.
was, Saturday was beautiful.
I don't think anyone was like surprised.
They poached the
I was
hell out of
surprised.
them.
Saturday was pretty.
No,
I was surprised.
I gave out the Dolphins, but like, this was one of those scenarios where I was like, oh, like I'm not surprised. Like Tua doing bad against a good team, and like I don't know.
It was just
You know
so
what?
easy.
You know what this felt like to me?
It was
Cold
way. It
weather.
was way too easy.
No,
Yeah,
this
he's
felt
never
like
won a game.
It was just no.
this felt to me like
It wasn't 78 degrees. Like
That's
You even
true.
said you opened it with saying like, "I'm probably not sharp here," but da, 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 da.
Yeah, for some reason, I just thought that the Dolphins could do it. It wasn't
or
even
at least put up a fight.
my bet was more so a bet on the Dolphins than against the Chiefs because I know what the Chiefs do at home.
Yeah.
and I don't think they're great this year. But I was betting on the fact that the Dolphins could do something.
Like,
You know
put
how
up
you've been
points.
really good on the Bucks all year?
Yeah.
You've been wrong on the Chiefs every single game. Every
game.
Like when they played the Bills at home, you're all over the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And the Bills beat them at home.
Oh well, yeah.
And then it was
when it was my mortal was the Bills.
Yeah.
No, I can't pick a Chiefs game right, but I honestly didn't think this game had much to do with the Chiefs. This was
is so
like you
sad.
said, it was the
This is
Dolphins couldn't even move around.
No.
Yeah.
Like they looked like they were just stuck in quicksand and couldn't move. Their only touchdown was the deep ball to Tyreek. And I mean that was
Chuck up for grabs.
Yeah.
I mean,
I-
you can't just keep doing that. We saw it in
yeah.
Well, you live and die
the
by
night.
it.
That
That's
team
how they won games all year.
I mean, talk about the fall off of a team from the hype. I mean, the Dolphins
Yeah.
first half of the season, we were having legitimate conversations about if they're the best team in football.
Yep.
Yeah.
Best offense, most explosive,
Some
all
people
that.
were. Some people saw.
Some
it straight
people-
to
No,
the-
you know what it felt like though? It felt like let me just paint a picture in y'all's head. So
Let me get
hold
my
on. Just-
popcorn and
yeah,
sit back.
sit back and relax. So imagine you're 4 to 5 years old
4 to 5.
and every single year for the entire year you've been told Santa's real, Santa's working in his workshop, working away on your presents. And then comes around to a point where it's Christmas time, Christmas
say
Eve.
every
It's
year?
yep, it's Christmas Eve for the past like 4 or 5 years, whatever. Just hold on and listen up. And then Christmas Eve comes.
Gotcha.
And then
Wait,
some-
how old am I when this new? I was
You're like
4 to
5.
You
I'm
said
still
You're
five.
like, no, yeah, it's the same age. Same year.
For
No,
Okay,
just
same year. Same year.
all right, same year. And then some homeless person breaks into your house and just rips off his shirt and he says, Santa's dead and all your hopes and dreams are gone. That's kind of how it felt like to me. I just wanted to let that simmer for a bit.
Dude,
I don't know how to move on. from
yeah,
that.
I don't even know it. It's like it can't even
What
give
about
me-
the Packers game this week?
Can we give him a strike for that?
That's a
Why?
strike.
Yeah, let me
That's a
strike.
strike. That's
Just
strike
for, like,
one.
You just
Just for-
wasted 5 minutes.
Yeah,
of
I mean,
people's lives.
those people
No.
will never get that time back.
Yeah.
That was time they could have been spent like doing productive things, helping build society.
When
and
he
I'm
starts
building
that,
the creativity side of people's
no, no,
minds.
when he starts that story, we need to have a pop up say like skip to like
Yeah,
307
skip
to
it.
like
yeah. We'll add that. We'll add that in. So if you saw skip and you skip to this part right now, you
welcome.
didn't miss anything.
you did
you
yourself a
missed
service.
quite a beautiful
we saved
picture
you. We
that I
saved you some
painted.
time.
With
But yeah,
I don't
words.
think anyone wants to see a
I
homeless man.
articulated it.
Easy win. Dolphins suck.
Yeah.
Next game. This is the game I want to talk about.
Oh yeah.
Oh, this is sad.
Packers Cowboys.
Yeah. Oh my god.
All right. The Cowboys are fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Frauds.
Yeah, they're
Frauds.
so bad.
Dak
They're so bad.
Prescott.
Classic Dak.
He's
Dak
the
Prescott
worst.
is bad.
He had 3
Playoff
picks.
Dak.
He's
Playoff
so
Dak. What do
bad.
I mean,
I mean, Dak Prescott is such a bad player.
I
That
disagree with
organization is.
He
What,
played
how do you
bad
disagree?
He played bad in a playoff game. He had an incredible season.
Every playoff game ever.
Yeah, it could be bad in playoffs. He's not a bad player.
Dude, even Jerry Jones was like
a great regular
shook
season
at
player.
how
He's
just what he
He's
is.
just a good player. He's just nothing great.
he's a very expensive game manager.
the most expensive.
But he'll manage
Yeah.
you like right out of a playoff game real quick.
Oh yeah, he'll manage you
Well, I
into
mean,
a
as soon
ground.
as you saw like his face, like he had that look, like he was like shocked / like about to cry when CD like dropped a pass, and then he like yells at CD, and CD's like, "Bro, it's like the first drive. Why are you freaking out?"
chill
And then
out.
Dak's like on the like bench, like he just
He was
everything
tweaking.
just
he was
tweaking.
tweaking the whole
Mike
game.
McCarthy's like, "CD, stay calm. Dak, I need you to reel it in." And then
I mean, he's gonna get fired, right?
Mike McCarthy.
Mike
Oh
McCarthy.
yeah, no.
I think-
no
yeah,
chance.
I mean,
of
he
it
has
now.
to.
I think they
He
clean.
did nothing. That team is very talented on paper.
3 straight seasons going 12-5.
and
First
just-
round
And there were
And
no
then just,
adjustments.
yep,
First round exits.
quick.
There were no
bye-bye.
adjustments at all. I mean, they scored 50 points on one of the best defenses in the league. I've never heard of that.
The Packers 48 points.
At home.
Jordan Love. This is what I was going to bring up when we were talking about CJ Stroud. Was 2 yards away from the exact same stats. They were both 16 of 21, both threw 3 touchdowns, 0 picks, same passer rating. The only difference is CJ threw 274 yards, Jordan Love 272.
Wow.
So almost the same stats, both
Pretty much
perfect games.
Yeah.
Dude, Jordan Love's the real deal. Yeah. He's the real deal. Like his numbers, he was like the second best quarterback statistically speaking this year. Unbelievable to end the year.
Dude, my rookie quarterback in the NFL strat last week was terrible.
Yeah, you said,
No,
yeah,
sure.
quarterbacks
that
who
was
haven't
just
played.
terrible.
They just
It was
cooked.
it was funny hearing the announcers talk about. I think it was Greg Olson. He was announcing the Cowboys game, and
Yeah.
he brought up when they were up 14-0, like, oh, like everyone's surprised about like a young, inexperienced team. He's like, if you look at it, like over the past 5 years, usually the younger, inexperienced teams, they have a winning record against experienced teams. So that whole thing about too young to win a playoff game, it's like it's not even really real in today's NFL anymore.
Wow, that's crazy.
And I was just
Tate
hearing
probably,
that, and
Tate
I was
probably
just-
wishes he knew that.
and I
before
was
he-
like listening, and I just thought of like Tate's stat, and I was like,
Well, this is
ooh,
gonna hurt.
yeah, this is gonna hurt.
Yeah.
But
And just a side note before we say anything else on the Cowboys, Aaron Jones owns you, Cowboys Nation.
That's true.
Yeah.
Every time Aaron Jones plays the Cowboys,
You might actually
I mean,
have
so
a minority
legacy
stake in the team.
I mean,
Yeah.
I said that. I was like, dude, every time the Packers win, like Aaron Jones is gonna go off because
he went crazy. 21 carries, 118 yards, 3 touchdowns.
yeah.
3
They own-
touchdowns.
Dude, the fact that they own 3 franchises now, they have the Packers, the Bears, and the Cowboys. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the wealthiest franchise. in the world.
And aren't the Packers the only team that's owned
Publicly
by,
owned.
publicly
Yep.
owned by
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fans
My
and
grandpa
stuff?
has a
Only
little
one.
frame of his like
So
little
he's
tiny
sick.
steaks.
So your
That's sick.
grandfather not only owns the Packers, but now he has
The Bears and the
yeah,
Cowboys.
minority
ownership
shares
of
of
the
Bears and
Yeah, he owns
Cowboys.
3 franchises.
He owns 3
Wow,
franchises.
sick.
what a guy.
They're just acquiring Infinity Stones.
Yeah. Holy shit.
I mean, they got an uphill test this week, but
Very uphill.
we're gonna talk about it on
Straight
Friday.
But I just gotta say that Packers Cowboys game, just seeing the Cowboys lose is like
It's
It's
beautiful.
America.
Yeah, it's
It's
great.
beautiful.
No,
and then
it's
the
great.
way they lost, I'm not kidding. That was probably top 5 most enjoyable games I've ever watched.
I smiled
Like
the
there's
whole
like
time.
LSU like winning the championships, national championships. There's like Saints Super
Bowl.
Bowls, and then there was that game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, like right, fits in right at 5.
It was,
That
it was actually unbelievable,
had a
and
smile on my face.
yeah, I loved every second.
There's something
of it.
about our generation growing up and just hating the Cowboys. It's pretty
Oh,
cool.
it's hate the Cowboys.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy. It's
You have
them-
to.
It's the beauty of them making the playoffs, and every year you hear this like narrative of like it's Super Bowl, like, and you know you throw a little Skip Bayless in there,
Oh,
little
God.
Stephen A.
Oh,
I mean, it's
Skip.
just,
Skip Bayless had himself a weekend.
an
Oh,
aneurysm.
that was
yeah,
comedy.
he lost his mind.
I mean, he tweeted after the first quarter saying, "Yeah, we lost."
Yeah, he's just like fire everybody.
Yeah,
I love seeing Jerry Jones up in the owner's box, like turn around after they're down, whatever it was, like 1,000,000-0.
Well,
and he
he-
just like looks around
Yeah.
like, we're gonna clean it
it's
house.
done. Progressively, he started like on his feet, and then like they scored the first touchdown. He's sitting down. By like the time it's like 27-0, he's like
Slouched
slouched
over.
back.
Yeah, I saw someone tweet that like Jerry Jones' owner's box probably sounded like a 1950s saloon.
We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, that's all you
but,
need to
but
know.
shout out Dak. He got hot late.
He got that's what he
words.
said. He got hot too late.
He got hot too late.
He got hot too late.
Oh, I love the Cowboys. I mean, it's
Two
just,
teams that didn't get hot late. They got hot very early, and
Oh
then
my God.
Oh,
Never
that
stopped.
died.
crushed my heart.
Lions
Both
Rams.
these teams suck. I hate both.
So this game was a crazy start to the game.
Yeah.
A million points in the
Million
beginning.
points.
It was like 21-17 with 10 minutes left in the
second
quarter. And the live over was 70 something.
Oh,
70
The Lions ended up winning the game by 1, but I want to quickly pivot to Ryan because I was sitting there watching the game with you. You live bet every over possible, the over touchdowns,
Over
re-over touchdowns.
Yep.
You laddered the over bet.
And this
You-
was when it was like 7-3 or like 7-7.
Yeah, early
whatever.
in the game.
Early.
and then the live over hit 70. You're like, oh, dude, I only
I-
need like 2 more touchdowns.
I literally needed nothing. I mean, the number I had was 51.5. In my head, there was like only things I was losing. I was live betting players to score 2+ touchdowns because like I already hit the 1 touchdowns. So I thought I was only in my mind I'm free rolling just 2+ touchdowns. Whatever else happens, and they only get 60 points. Whatever. I mean, they had 5 touchdowns in the first half. I needed 2 more touchdowns. They had 5 touchdowns in the first quarter and a half. I
Yeah.
need 2 more touchdowns.
yeah,
for the rest
10
of the
minutes
game.
left in the second. They had 5 touchdowns.
I
So
need
you
2 more
had
for
the
the rest
over
of the game.
6.5
I
touchdowns.
lost so much money because they didn't hit the over. And there
Yeah.
was 70.5 left.
I mean,
I hate those two
There
teams.
were 0 touchdowns scored after that point. in
No,
the
I
game.
mean,
There's
they got
3 field goals in the second half.
They
no
saw a
touchdowns.
huge amount of money going on a book, and they went, "Holy shit, timeout!"
Yeah,
at
good job.
halftime.
They made a call.
They
They're
made a
just
call.
like,
They
Yeah,
said,
slow down,
We need to
slow
slow
down."
down.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, so I hate
They
both
called
these
Mike. Mike started drawing up the Rams offense. You know,
I know.
he was.
Yeah, but I mean,
Shout out Rams.
Shout out Rams.
So
They covered.
frustrating.
Shout out Rams.
They
You
covered.
covered the spread. That's big for you.
covered the spread.
You're
Good
right.
for you.
That's big for you, Mike.
Yeah.
Remember you said deaths in Detroit? I mean, you did die in Detroit, but you covered
God,
the
let's
spread.
move on to a Steelers game.
No, well, we'll talk about the
Yeah,
Steelers in a
let's talk
second.
about Steelers.
Oh, no,
One thing I
yeah.
want to mention, though,
Puka having an absolute day.
well, yeah, for the Rams,
186
I wasn't really going
yards.
to talk about the Rams because you guys didn't win. But
Yeah, that's true.
Sure, we
But
can go
Puka-
that.
Puka did have a day.
Stafford threw for 370 yards, 2 touchdowns. Puka had 181 yards and a touchdown, broke the rookie receiving record in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And
That's
you
pretty
still
good.
couldn't beat the Lions, where Jared Goff threw for under 300 and he only had 1 touchdown pass.
No, I'm aware.
Also, like, is Cooper Kupp just not a thing anymore?
Well, he gets doubled and then just Puka's one on
Yeah.
one. And it's just
Yep.
free.
I mean, who
His
was
draft
gonna-
stock
oh,
next year is going to be,
That'll be crazy.
up there.
We'll
Yeah.
see what happens.
Well, I'm
next
talking
season.
Cooper Cup's going to be down. Puka's going to be
No, it'll be crazy.
I just
way,
think it's
way
a
up.
similar thing to be like, this is going to be a weird analogy, but like Tyreek
God.
Hill and Jalen Waddle, where it's like they're both very, very talented, but Tyreek has the ability to just like break away because he has natural speed. Cooper Kupp is like solely reliant on his route running abilities, and it's like that just often doesn't.
Cooper has crazy speed.
So
I
you're
mean,
saying
okay,
I'm
in
sure
the-
they're
but
probably
compar-
very comparable.
in the
Puka and-
in the
No,
comparison,
comparatively to like.
so yeah. So what
Cheetah.
you're saying is like Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle is like Puka, Cooper Cup.
yeah, like Puka's,
Similar.
So yeah, you'd put Cooper
Wide
Cup with
receiver
that
one.
Jalen Waddle level, and then when you're talking Tyreek, you got to throw in Puka.
Yeah.
That's where we ended with that.
Yeah.
Okay, a triple crown winner.
The Dolphins are
Basically
out.
Jalen
Rams
Waddle.
are-
Yeah, sure. A lot of deaths in Detroit.
Not at all.
Well, there were a lot of deaths.
Mike's
No,
Mike's
there were
soul died in Detroit.
No,
You lost a lot in
Mike
Detroit.
killed a lot of people.
No,
Oh,
good,
Mike
good
did,
for
yeah.
Detroit. Maybe it'll be the next flourishing city, but it won't because it's a shithole. And
Ooh.
they're not
All right,
playing.
enough on the Detroit people.
Enough
Had
with the Detroit.
Fuck.
You had a fun weekend.
Friend of the pod.
Fuck
Rams,
Detroit.
go Rams. But yeah, all right. Steelers played the Bills.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know where to begin with this one.
I mean,
I'll begin.
You can go ahead.
yeah, go
Begin.
ahead. Take the floor.
Too cold.
As I mentioned earlier, every team I wanted to win
Lost.
won. Not the teams not
Mike
the picks I gave
Mike
out.
does not listen
Mike doesn't
to you.
listen
Not the
Wow.
picks I gave out. Every
He's
team I
creating
wanted to
images.
win won. The reason why I wanted the Bills to win is because I think they're a better team overall than the Steelers and will be more competitive
They are.
to actually challenging for going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The only way the Bills reach that level is if Josh Allen has a perfect game. Josh Allen, I gotta rewind my steps a bit. I may have been
Just a couple steps.
a couple steps. I'm not going back on my word. I'm taking a few steps back, kind of
You're
reanalyzing the
prepping.
board.
You're prepping it.
Josh Allen is probably the second best quarterback in the NFL.
I can live with
I
that.
mean,
I haven't argued.
There's Patrick Mahomes, and then there's a tier where it's like, you could argue like Lamar on his day, Stroud goes crazy or something, but like Josh Allen, just the running ability, the passing ability, the arm talent, he's the second best quarterback.
Toughness, dude.
Dude, I,
He said.
That guy's
Toughness. All right. What are we talking about? The toughness.
Yeah,
What measures his tough? He's just
Have you seen that guy? That guy puts his life on the line.
He fake slid. Everyone stopped and he ran for a touchdown. We're not calling those flags.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
he's
guys
also-
gonna consider
he can
one play as
move.
for his toughness?
I mean,
you
that
got
guy
to
is,
tackle.
Steelers
that.
did look pathetic on that.
Yeah, I mean, well, he
Slide.
fake slid. If you see the thing, he faked the slide, and they
But it's
stopped
like
trying to
a-
tackle
But
him.
just
It's
be
like
around him. If he fakes a slide and doesn't tackle him.
Yeah, I mean, all right. So look, were you done with your Josh Allen?
No, it's Josh Allen pack right.
I can go for a no. But
You
yeah,
can go
shout
for
out
a
Josh
ride.
Allen.
Were you gonna say? All right,
Shout out Josh
no, take that
Friend of the
away.
pod.
No
Shout
shout
out.
out, Josh.
Shout
Not
out.
a friend. Look, Josh Allen's stats looked pretty. He didn't do anything to win this game. He did nothing to win this game.
yeah, you guys lost
No,
this
no,
game.
no.
You
Josh
guys
Allen did
lost.
nothing to win this game. We went down 21-0 immediately of our own stupidity. Josh Allen's 2 touchdown passes in the first quarter, both wide open to the tight end across the middle of the field. With no safety help, just wide open. I could have thrown those balls. Josh Allen's touchdown run, he faked sliding, should have been a flag, didn't call it, should have stopped the play. He ran for a touchdown, also terrible tackling on the Steelers. We started like deer in the headlights. We had no business starting like that. Since that point on, we won the rest of the game. It was 17-31, and their last-minute touchdown, I mean, there was a couple calls on that. We had like a defensive holding on like 2nd and long, and then on 3rd down, was it offsides? No, it was he slid and then he hit.
Same player.
Yeah, he slid and then
Miles
hit the
Jack,
quarterback, Miles Jack, back to back. So we kind of gave them first downs. Then they had an insane touchdown at the end. It was a close game, and it shouldn't have been based on how we started. Look, they didn't do anything special. Josh Allen threw for 200 yards. All his rushing yards were on one 55-yard touchdown. Stephon Diggs had 52 receiving yards. Like that, nothing. There's no stats that you look on this team and you're like, wow, this is crazy. I mean, Josh Allen, no picks, no turnovers, huge deal. He didn't turn over the ball. That's the best thing I think he did. And we didn't give him pressure to turn over the ball in the first place. But the Steelers just lost this game. We just lost this game. We didn't deserve to even be in the game the way we started it. Mason Rudolph played fine. The pick in the end zone hurts. Or on the 5-yard line. He throws a bad pick. I think it's a worse play call than a throw. Or it's 2nd and goal from the 3.5. You probably should run the ball there, given how you've been playing.
He does do a lot of throws before the route. He has one pick in his head a lot, and that was.
Well, I mean, he threw for 2 touchdowns and a pick. Not great. I would have loved to not have that pick, but we shot ourselves in the foot. I mean, Pickens fumbling.
I'm saying the fumbling
on the 20-yard line.
Yep.
And then we gave them so many points to start. We just spotted them 21, and then we're like, all right, let's play football. The rest of the game, I think we look like the better team. Dead serious. The rest of the game from that point on.
When you're up 21-0, you don't really have to do as much.
Yeah.
I would like to see if
we scored back-to-back. They still weren't doing that much.
I mean,
we don't have. You just have to win the game.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a way.
You got to keep the ball in front of you.
I mean, he was game managed. He was like, I'm just not going to turn the ball over.
No, yeah. I mean,
James Cook, effective running the ball, had like 80 or 90.
He had 80 yards, on 18 carries. I mean, it was pretty good. I don't know. I felt kind of robbed in a way because not robbed in like the way the game went, just that we got robbed of what could have been because I don't think this Bills team.
You sold yourself short.
I don't think this Bills team is that much better than the Steelers team, which sounds crazy to say when we have Mason Rudolph and all them. But I just watched, we self-imploded. We literally gave them a touchdown and then fumbled on the 20 or 18-yard line, which is another touchdown, and then broken coverage or on the Josh Allen touchdown run. We just started the game so bad that we could have never come back, which we almost did. We got down. It was 7 points. It was 3rd down. We had roughing the passer when it could have been punt. But or whatever, the late hit.
Pick in the end zone.
Yeah, I don't know. There was a lot that could have gone wrong, and it did for the Steelers early. I like the way we fought back, but I don't know. I was just depressed. But
it was sad. I mean, the if anything's a robbery, it was the 10-point spread. I'll tell you that right now. There's no way that 10-point spread didn't come in. That was a rough for all the better people out there. That was terrible. But I mean, I just feel as if we were just not. We're just not the better team, in my opinion. I know you think it's comparable, but I don't know. Playing from behind with this team will never be a recipe for anything.
Oh, yeah, we were dead. When it was 21-0, we were dead.
Yeah,
But it shouldn't have been 21-0. We literally just gave them points.
That's what happens when you have first-year playoff players everywhere on the offense, have no idea how to play. But I don't know. I just think it's Steelers' time to make a move, draft a quarterback this
Fire
year.
Mike Tomlin.
Clean house.
Hasn't won a playoff game since 2016.
I don't mind
house.
either way. It's like a Patriot fan. I don't really have a problem with the whole Tomlin thing. If he stays, he's been our guy. He's been really amazing. If he leaves, I'm cool to get a new young guy who's going to establish an offense. But first of all, we need to get a quarterback.
You need a quarterback.
Just give me a first round. Listen to the first round quarterbacks. Have you seen the stats in the playoffs right now? The quarterbacks remaining, 7 out of 8 of them were picked in the first round. It's a trend. Get a quarterback in the first round. You will have a very good chance to be a dominant team or a good offense. And I think
for the past 5 years, that's been the trend too.
So I'm saying, so if our team is good enough, we make it to the playoffs with shit the whole year. I think with a good quarterback, we could actually make a move and do stuff.
Yeah.
Understand TJ Watt was unhealthy. That would have been a huge change in this game. Actually getting pressure on Josh Allen.
Well, he's our best player.
But I'm telling you, I think this team can move forward. Regardless of what we do outside, quarterback first in the draft, make a move, do something the Steelers have never done. Make a move, get a quarterback.
Because part of the reason, you talked about fighting back in that game, is part of the reason why I think you don't fire Mike Tomlin. I don't know.
I mean, he didn't really coach a bad game.
He didn't coach a bad game.
You can't say Pickens
I'm
dropped the ball.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not saying fire Tomlin because of this season, but when you're the Steelers, right? I don't compare the Steelers to every other team in the NFL.
Top
We have the second most Super Bowls of any team ever besides the Patriots, and those are all Tom Brady.
Yeah.
So I hold us to the top 5 franchise in all the league.
Yeah.
When your top 5 franchise in all the league has not won a playoff game in 8 years since 2016. 8 years. I love above 500 regular season. But everything, if you've ever heard me talk ever, I don't care about the regular season. I only care about the playoffs. If you haven't won a playoff game in 8 years, I think you just change it up. Because it doesn't look like they're not building anything, is what it looked like to me. We have good pieces, and like Ryan said, we can hold our own with good teams, but it doesn't remind me of the days when the Steelers were winning playoff games where we were building a dominant defense.
You think if we replace a quarterback,
I think quarterback is where you got to
Our
start.
offense is Najee looked amazing end of the year. Pickens started to get going.
And
Deontay was
even
great
when you guys
last
were
game.
coming back, like Deontay and Pickens, like they were looking
This is 1-2, 1-2,
1-2. Like if they get going, like they're a lethal.
And Freiermuth is balling.
Yeah,
And
I don't-
Freiermuth is balling. Dude, I mean, like you started off the season kind of like dead, anyways. Like no offense, but to me, Kenny Pickett's the worst starter.
Yeah.
Granted, I don't care about his record. Like I just don't see him. He's not gonna ever take you far into the playoffs.
Oh,
Like you need
Kenny Pickett's basically out of the league. Right?
You need that first round talent. Like you're just kind of seeing it like the Jordan Love, the CJ Stroud. Like you need that
Agreed.
arm talent.
And I
Patrick
think
Mahomes,
they have
Josh
that in
Allen.
this draft class. There's a lot of
There is a
quarterbacks
lot
in this draft
Dude,
class.
So I think
so many guys going later after
Yeah.
the first.
and you're
three.
seeing if you put them in a good system in a year or two, they can get you to a
Develop.
Super Bowl.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Like I mean the Bengals had one good season with Joe Burrow. All of a
Yep.
sudden they're in the Super Bowl. Like
Yeah.
they're a terrible
I do
franchise.
think we need to get like a college coach or a offensive coordinator that was
You
just
do.
a
You
Jim
do
Harbaugh.
need
like
maybe
a guy from
a-
Washington. I
Yeah.
know. Well, I know Alabama got the Washington guy, but some offensive coordinator that comes in and just like Mike McDaniel schemes up everything.
Yeah,
That's
like-
what Buffalo did. They got Joe Brady.
Yeah, no, and
Um,
it completely
and
changed. their
completely
team.
changed it. Joe Brady was the OC for Joe Burrow on LSU. Like
Yeah.
when they
we
won.
just need, we
Like
need
you
to
need
switch up.
you need those, and you're seeing it with McVay, Mike McDaniel. You kind of need those guys that are more offensive minded. I think Tomlin's still like the figurehead. You still need him as the coach because I think he just garners that respect.
Yeah, he is like one of the most respected, if not the most respected coach
just-
by the
Oh,
players.
Yeah,
in
I mean, if
NFL.
you've been
Yeah.
if you've
You got
coached
voted
for
that.
20 years, like he just walks in a room and everyone knows who he is. If you have a first year coach, you have to kind of earn that over time. I think
Yeah.
just get a good OC, get a good young quarterback, pair them together. I think
Yeah,
We'll
we'll
see
see
what
what
happens.
happens. I don't hate keeping Tomlin, but we definitely need to make some moves.
No,
Keep
definitely.
the core team
Definitely.
together, get a
Yeah,
new quarterback.
I like that.
Sad season. Congrats to the Bills. Josh Allen, I still hate you. The last game of the weekend happened on Monday night, and it was a murder
It was beautiful.
yeah.
in Tampa
Beautiful.
Bay.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful.
It was beautiful.
Never
Eagles are
doubt.
dead.
This
No,
was
it's
one of the only
hilarious.
Dead dog.
consensus picks or 4-1 picks
Yeah.
that we
Dead dog.
had that actually hit. Yeah,
Cancun.
Tampa Bay beat Philadelphia 32-9.
Got murdered.
And it felt like 61-3.
yeah, that's what it felt like.
Like, it felt like-
they just dominated.
It felt like Georgia
Yeah.
TCU. Like one of them
Yeah.
never had a chance.
never had a chance.
I mean, a couple things, and this is more of a question for the table. Was this more about Tampa Bay or more about Philadelphia?
Philadelphia.
Philly.
Really.
Really?
Well,
Tampa just did their job.
Yeah.
They didn't really, I mean, if you looked at their touchdowns,
two.
they weren't deep balls, weren't anything
I
crazy.
think two
They didn't do
things can
anything
be
spectacular.
two things can be true at the same time. I think Baker played exceptional. So the offense, obviously 32 points, regardless of who you're playing in the NFL, is tough to do.
No.
Yeah.
So great game by Baker, and then also just, the biggest collapse. I've never seen a team derail like this Eagles team.
Halfway
neither
through
have I.
the season,
Week
and
12,
then-
they're 10-1, best record in the NFL, and then go 1-5 rest of the regular season, lose the first round of the wild card,
feels like,
1-6.
feels like the Steelers' undefeated season when they lost first week to the Browns after going.
Lost
they went
5
11
straight,
though,
and
lost
then-
5 straight, lost first week to the Browns
Yeah.
to Baker Mayfield.
It's just
Also to Baker Mayfield.
Wow, I just
Whoa.
put that together. That's,
Maybe Baker Mayfield knows how to
He's
beat
Thanos, holy
deranged teams. No, but I see what you're saying about how it's a two-way street. The Bucks look good. The Bucks look like they found some. They're one of the hotter teams in the NFL the last
Yeah.
2 months of the season.
They were just so quiet. They were so quiet.
Well, you get
about
swept
it.
under the rug because they're not. Nothing about them's flashy.
Dude, that
Yeah,
defense
no,
is
I
good.
agree.
I mean, I told
Yeah,
you guys.
they're
I mean, it's the
trash.
You
same.
haven't said that all
It's
year.
literally
Yeah.
the same defense that Tom Brady had. You said like every single player. I mean, you have 2 All-Pro linebackers.
Yeah.
You have 2 All-Pro corners. You have an All-Pro safety. You have an All-Pro defensive
coach.
line. A
genius
great defensive coach. And then offense. I mean, I think the biggest thing is like Rashad White because they've always had great receivers,
Yeah.
but
He showed up.
like Rashad White this season, like no one's talked about him. This dude is having an incredible season.
Yeah.
No,
And I mean,
He
they
rushed
just
for 100 or no?
Today,
I didn't-
he had
didn't
72
do that.
yards.
72 yards. But
Felt
it's
like
like
a lot.
when he was given those like carries, like it seemed like every carry was like a punch to the gut to the Eagles. Like it'd be like a 3rd and short, and he'd always pick it up. Like you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I mean, the Eagles could not stop the Bucks, and conversely, the Bucks defense was doing whatever they wanted with the Eagles.
Yeah.
I mean, Jalen Hurts has some serious problems. They have a lot to think about in the offseason with this team because Jalen Hurts, when he's not doing the tush push and just like falling in the end zone, you take away those rushing
He
touchdowns.
sucks.
Dude,
He sucks.
it's pretty bad. Like really, really bad.
Stats are shocking.
Their
and he
line
looked-
is also
That's
And
bad.
he looked, it was funny because last year we were all like, oh my God, I was wrong on Jalen Hurts. He looks amazing. It feels like it was a flash in the pan type
Why do
thing.
I feel like we never had those games this year where he ran for like 100 yards?
Because he just fell in the end zone and got his touchdowns.
No, but I mean, like he would run all over teams.
Last year, he would.
Last year,
I mean,
would.
he was, and I'm not trying to
This year,
defend.
it looked like he
was banged up.
Well,
He always
this-
had an injury.
this
It was
year-
always an ankle. It was always
He
like
was
a
definitely
knee.
banged up this year.
I mean, obviously he had the wraps on his fingers. I mean,
But it
no
seemed-
excuses.
It seemed
You're
like
out there
they tried to
playing.
make weird designed plays for him rather than just giving
playing
him
football.
Just let him
the
go.
freedom
Yeah.
to be like,
Yeah.
play football, do what you think is right, and then if you need to run it, then run it. And he
Yeah.
kind of was for some reason the offensive coordinator was just like,
Well-
okay, let's design plays for him, and other teams were picking up on it. They're like,
Nick Sirianni needs to get the hell out of there. I mean, that
I
guy.
don't know what's going
I don't
on.
think he's.
I've never been a big fan of
He
Nick
had
Sirianni.
one year where like the team was insane. They were just they had all the players.
And they got very lucky that the 49ers were injured.
The matchup was
when they
I
got
mean,
rushed
all those
last year.
matchups.
That's the
They
only,
were-
only reason they went to the Super Bowl.
But
in the first
I mean,
place.
I've never seen a team not be able to tackle before. I mean, it was absurd. These touchdowns
Bradbury
they
was
had
bad.
were 5-7 yard out routes.
Yeah.
Where 5 people wouldn't tackle a player. It was ridiculous. It was literally a 5 yard out route, and they wouldn't tackle and be a 35 yard, 40 yard touchdown.
Yeah.
I love last season after the Eagles, made it to the Super Bowl or whatever. But Deebo Samuel in the offseason was on a podcast, and they were like, he was like, the only reason they beat us was because our quarterback first quarter blows out his ligament,
Yeah,
can't
he
throw the
can't
ball,
even move his arm.
He's like, I don't respect more than half the people in
I
that
remember
defense.
when he said
and
that,
and they
too.
were like, what? You don't respect any of their corners? And he's like, the only one I have any respect for is Slay. Bradbury's terrible, and everyone freaked out because they're like, "Oh my God, Bradbury, all pro, like Pro Bowler," and he was
Benched in the
and,
first-
Yeah, he
and
got
Debo
first
was
round.
like, "No, the dude's cheeks, like he just helped and like covered
Debo
by like."
loves talking shit.
He loves talking
He
shit,
loves
but like
talking
he's right.
shit.
Dude,
Oh, yeah.
everything he said this
Like
season,
Richard Sherman.
Bradbury literally
He
has gotten
benched.
exposed.
He got benched for rookie after the first drive. An all pro got benched for rookie. After
Well,
the
he
first
came
drive.
in the second half,
No, yeah, I'm saying after.
and I don't even know what he was trying to do when he went to tackle Trey Palmer.
so
He like
bad.
ran around him and
So
like
lit.
put his arms out and just let him run for 60. Like it was.
Yeah, I don't know. I know a lot of Eagles fans are very disappointed, like just upset because I mean they
Yeah.
went to the Super Bowl, they started 10-1,
10-1.
whatever,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden you're getting
win one
blown
game in
out
2
by
months.
Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, it's embarrassing.
Like this just feels like it's one of those big seismic transitional moments for a team where everyone thought they could have been this amazing franchise, and then you take a step back and you look at them and you're like, wow, maybe
maybe not.
we need to change some things up.
Yeah.
I do think they'll be okay though. I'm not really worried. I think they'll be fine.
I'm not worried either because
Do you think they stick with Jalen?
Yeah.
Oh,
The
yeah.
owner loves it. Like the owner of the gym loves it.
I love
They
the.
had a bad roll of dice with injuries too. At least for
No, yeah,
like
they
did.
this time of the year, it's like
Things happen.
you know,
I just love the memes of
Oh, me
Jalen
too.
Hurts with the Instagram quotes.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's the goat.
he loves his press
Like
conference.
it was like when Dallas Goedert yelled at him, and Jalen Hurts just said like one line, but like neutral like tone or whatever. There's so many memes about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So
it's
funny.
On
it's
Twitter.
wild.
What
the,
a wild-
the Bucks. Maybe look out for him. I don't know. They got a little test coming
You'll
next
find
week.
out. You'll find out on
yeah.
Friday what we think.
We'll
about
see.
them.
Yeah,
You'll find
we're
out
making,
in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
with the
so we're
Bucks.
making all of our picks
Uh,
this Friday
Fun.
for the entire NFL slate. We have 4 games coming up. It's divisional weekend. We're gonna give out picks on all the games, talk all the action. It's gonna be a good weekend.
Action,
It's
passion.
gonna be a good
Really
weekend.
great week.
Recap. I mean, we don't have any college to talk about.
It's so sad.
So sad.
terrible.
Football
There's a-
season's
yeah.
winding down.
No, yeah.
I mean, I'm so used to sitting down here and yelling at Mike about Texas or talking Clemson or something. We can't do anything.
We can do one more college thing where we talk about like the transfers or something for Mike just to
Yeah, we'll do it sometime in the
Yeah,
off
get a
season.
little-
Sometime
But for
we
now,
got a couple today.
Only NFL, baby.
only
NFL.
NFL
We got a
Friday
couple.
episode, making the picks in the divisional round. Tate, tell the people what they should do before they click that exit
Let
button.
them know.
There's a little red button right below this video. It's going to say subscribe. Go ahead and click that button. Leave us a comment. Like this video. Share with a friend and turn that notification bell on, baby. 'cause we're gonna be back next week.
We will see you on Friday.
Bang.
Dang.